Two winter storms are about to hit the United States. This is putting millions of people in harm's right now. The largest winter storm system in the past decade is barreling across America. We're not talking about just a few states. This monster storm has put 30 states under severe weather alerts, affecting over 100 million Americans. From Texas to Maine, forecasters are using words like life-threatening and unprecedented. In the next 2 minutes, I'll show you exactly where this massive system is headed, which states are in the bullseye, and most importantly, what you need to do right now to stay safe. The numbers we're seeing are staggering. Wind chills dropping to minus 40 degrees, snowfall rates of 2-3 inches per hour, and ice accumulations that could snap power lines like twigs. This isn't your typical winter storm. This is different. Breaking. As the sun sets on what feels like an ordinary winter day, a hidden threat begins to unfold. An enormous winter storm, unlike anything we've seen this season, is making its way across the United States. Over 30 states, home to more than 70 million people, are bracing for its impact. From the icy plains of the Midwest to the bustling cities of the East Coast, this storm threatens to bring life as we know it to a grinding halt. But this isn't just another snowstorm. It's a sprawling weather system with enough power to cripple highways, disrupt power grids, and leave millions stranded in freezing conditions. The question is, are you ready? Meteorologists have been closely tracking this storm for days, and the warnings are getting more urgent. The storm is expected to dump heavy snow, as much as 12 inches in some areas, from Illinois to Pennsylvania. For residents along the I-95 corridor, cities like New York, Boston, and Philadelphia, the forecast is calling for dangerous snow squalls that could reduce visibility to near zero on major highways. Combined with high winds of up to 50 miles per hour, driving could become treacherous or outright impossible. Imagine being caught in a whiteout with icy roads beneath your tires. That's what millions may face in the coming days. But it's not just about the snow. What makes this storm especially dangerous is what follows. An Arctic blast of frigid air that will plunge temperatures to life-threatening lows. In the northern plains, thermometers are expected to plummet to minus 34 degrees Fahrenheit, with wind chills making it feel closer to minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Even in states as far south as Texas and Tennessee, temperatures could dip below freezing, creating the perfect conditions for widespread black ice and frozen pipes. Picture waking up to no power, no heat, and ice forming inside your home. That's a reality many could face if they're not prepared. This storm isn't just about cold weather and inconvenience. It's a test of resilience. Officials in several states, including New Jersey and Illinois, have already declared states of emergency, urging residents to stock up on essentials and stay off the roads once the storm hits. Snowplows and salt trucks are mobilized, but even they may struggle to keep up with the rapid accumulation of snow and ice. Public schools, government offices, and even major airports are preparing for closures, with airlines already canceling thousands of flights in anticipation. And then there's the ripple effect. When a storm of this magnitude hits, it doesn't just affect the areas under its direct path. Grocery store shelves are already being cleared of bread, milk, and other essentials as people rush to prepare. Supply chains, already stretched thin from recent weather events, may not be able to restock quickly. This means even states outside the storm's reach could feel the effects in the form of delayed shipments and rising prices. The sheer size of this system is awe-inspiring. Satellite images show a swirling mass of clouds stretching from the Rockies to the Atlantic, covering thousands of miles and impacting nearly every corner of the country. And while meteorologists can predict its path, there's always an element of uncertainty. Storms like these often have surprises in store. Unexpectedly heavy snowfall in some areas, sudden shifts in direction, or faster than expected wind gusts. That's why it's critical to stay informed with up-to-the-minute updates from trusted weather sources. But let's pause for a moment and think about the people most at risk. Those living in rural areas may face days without power as crews struggle to repair downed lines. Seniors, who are particularly vulnerable to the cold, may find it hard to get the help they need in icy conditions. Families with young children could run out of supplies if they haven't stocked up in time. This storm is a stark reminder of how quickly our modern conveniences can be stripped away, leaving us to rely on preparation and community support. So, what does this all mean for you? It's time to take action. Whether it's sealing drafty windows, checking your emergency supplies, or simply staying off the roads, every small step you take now can make a big difference when the storm hits. And remember, it's not just about surviving, it's about staying informed, staying safe, and helping others do the same. I need you to understand just how serious this situation is getting. Let me take you on a quick tour across America, and what I'm seeing on the latest satellite imagery is keeping emergency managers on edge. The Northeast isn't just getting snow, they're getting absolutely pummeled. Right now in Buffalo, New York, they're facing what meteorologists are calling a snow cyclone. Think of it like a hurricane, but with snow. They're looking at 36 inches, that's 3 feet of snow, piling up faster than plows can clear it. And here's the kicker. It's falling at a rate of 3 inches per hour. That's like having a foot of snow cover your driveway in the time it takes to watch your favorite TV show. But wait until you hear what's happening in the Midwest. Chicago, Detroit, and Minneapolis are dealing with what old-timers call the heart attack snow. I'm not exaggerating. Emergency rooms are already seeing an uptick in cardiac cases. This snow is so wet and heavy that a single shovelful can weigh as much as a small child. In Iowa alone, state troopers have responded to over 300 stranded vehicles in the past 12 hours. The wind chills? They're dropping to a bone-chilling minus 45 degrees across Minnesota and Wisconsin. To put that in perspective, that's colder than parts of Antarctica right now. Now, here's something that's making headlines. The South is getting hit with an ice storm that's breaking records. Dallas, Texas, a place that typically sees kids in t-shirts this time of year, is facing half an inch of ice. That might not sound like much, but power companies are calling it the nightmare scenario. Just a quarter inch of ice adds 500 pounds of weight to power lines. Some neighborhoods in Oklahoma have already been without power for 18 hours, and with temperatures staying below freezing, that ice isn't going anywhere. The latest weather models are showing something even more concerning. This system is actually intensifying as it moves. Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey are about to get what meteorologists call thunder snow. Imagine lightning and thunder, but instead of rain, you're getting blinding snow. We're seeing wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour, strong enough to tip over semi-trucks. In fact, every major interstate from Oklahoma to Maine has reported multiple overturned vehicles in the past 24 hours. Listen up, because what I'm about to share isn't just another winter safety guide. This could be the difference between life and death in the next 48 hours. Emergency response teams across 30 states are already stretched thin, and here's the scary part. They're expecting conditions to get even worse. So let me break this down for you person to person. Let's talk power outages first, because this is where most people get caught off guard. We're not dealing with a few hours of flickering lights here. I'm seeing reports from power companies predicting outages lasting up to a week in some areas. Wild, right? Get this, your regular power bank probably won't cut it. You need enough backup power to last 72 hours minimum. I learned this the hard way during last year's storms. My single power bank died after just 18 hours. Brief pause. Here's a pro tip that saved my neighbor last month. Grab a car power inverter. They're under $30, and you can charge your essentials from your car in an emergency. Now, about your emergency food and water situation, this is where people usually think they're prepared but aren't. 1 gallon of water per person per day sounds like a lot, right? But here's the thing, you're not just drinking it. You need water for basic hygiene and food prep too. During Minnesota's blackout last month, families were melting snow for toilet water. Not fun. And those granola bars in your pantry? They're great, but you need real meals. Slight pause. Here's what I keep in my emergency kit. Canned soups, nuts, dried fruits, and, this is crucial, a camping stove or canned heat for cooking. When the power's out for days, a hot meal isn't just about comfort, it's about survival. Let's talk about the silent killer that spikes during every winter storm: carbon monoxide. The numbers are shocking. During the last major storm, emergency rooms saw a 40% increase in carbon monoxide poisoning cases. Most people don't realize that generators need to be at least 20 feet from any opening in your house. That's about 4 car lengths. And those space heaters everyone's rushing to buy? Here's something the manual doesn't emphasize enough. They can pull up to 1,500 watts. Plug them directly into a wall outlet, not those cheap power strips. I've seen melted power strips in emergency response photos, and trust me, it's not pretty. Your car isn't just transportation anymore. It's potentially your last line of defense. A reported that 78% of winter rescue calls last season were preventable with basic preparation. Brief pause, beyond the usual blankets and snacks, here's what the pros pack: a battery-powered weather radio, your phone won't last forever; hand warmers, the 12-hour kind; a collapsible shovel, the mini ones are useless; and cat litter for traction. And please keep your tank at least half full. When the interstate in Pennsylvania shut down last winter, some folks were stranded for 24 hours. Those with full tanks could at least keep warm. Here's the most sobering statistic I've come across. 60% of serious injuries during winter storms happen after the main event. People get desperate, take risks, and make mistakes. Don't be part of that statistic. Start preparing now, while you still can. When the stores are empty and the roads are impassable, it'll be too late. As the massive winter storm system sweeps across the United States, several states are facing unique challenges that require tailored preparations. Let's delve into the situations in Colorado, Tennessee, and Texas, highlighting the specific threats and how residents are bracing themselves. Colorado: heavy snowfall and frigid temperatures. In early January 2025, Colorado experienced significant snowfall, with some areas receiving up to 12 inches, leading to traffic disruptions and flight delays. As of January 20th, 2025, Denver is facing extremely cold temperatures, with highs around 8 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 14 degrees Celsius, and lows dipping to minus 6 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 21 degrees Celsius. Interview: speak with a local resident. We've stocked up on essentials and are limiting travel. The city services are doing their best, but with this much snow and cold, it's challenging for everyone. Tennessee: freezing rain and hazardous road conditions. Middle Tennessee is bracing for a significant Arctic blast, with temperatures dropping to 23 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 5 degrees Celsius, on January 20, 2025. The National Weather Service has issued warnings for potential freezing rain, which could lead to icy roads and dangerous driving conditions. Interview: chat with a local official. We're advising residents to stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary. Our crews are working around the clock to treat and clear the roads, but the conditions can change rapidly. Texas: power grid concerns. Amidst plunging temperatures, Texas is experiencing unusually cold weather, with Dallas expecting lows around 24 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 5 degrees Celsius, on January 20th, 2025. The Electric Reliability Council of Texas, ERCOT, has assured residents that the power grid is stable and capable of meeting the increased demand during this cold snap. Interview: hear from an ERCOT representative. We've taken significant measures since the 2021 winter storm to enhance grid reliability. While we anticipate higher demand, we're confident in our ability to keep the power on for Texans. Each of these states faces distinct challenges due to the winter storm. By understanding the specific threats and heeding local advisories, residents can take appropriate actions to stay safe during these severe weather events. What to do during the storm: a detailed guide for staying safe. When a winter storm hits, safety becomes the top priority. The snow and ice might look magical from the comfort of your home, but the reality outside can be unforgiving and even life-threatening. Let's dive into what you need to do to keep yourself and your loved ones safe with practical advice and real-world examples. Stay indoors and avoid unnecessary travel. The number one rule during a storm? Stay inside. It's not just about avoiding icy roads, though that's certainly a big part of it, but also about minimizing your exposure to extreme cold. Hypothermia and frostbite can set in much faster than you think, even with proper clothing. If you absolutely must leave your home, make sure someone knows where you're going and when you plan to return. Think of it like sending a quick "I'm safe" text. It's not just courteous, it could save your life. During one particularly brutal storm in 2021, people stranded on highways for hours suffered from severe cold and dehydration. Don't let that be you. Keep an emergency kit in your car, stocked with blankets, water, and snacks, in case you're caught out in an unavoidable situation. Keep devices charged and conserve power outages are a common companion to winter storms, especially when heavy ice accumulates on power lines. Take advantage of electricity while you still have it. Fully charge your phones, portable chargers, and any essential medical devices like CPAP machines. Once the power is out, conserve battery life by dimming your phone screen and limiting non-essential usage. Trust me, TikTok can wait. You'll want that juice for emergency calls or weather updates. And here's a pro tip. Turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on your devices when not in use. These settings drain power faster than you'd expect, and every percentage counts when you're in the dark. Prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Here's a sobering fact. Carbon monoxide poisoning spikes during winter storms. People often resort to alternative heating methods like generators or charcoal grills, and using them improperly can be deadly. Generators should never be used indoors or in garages, even with the door open. Place them at least 20 feet from your home, far from windows or vents, to avoid toxic fumes entering your living spaces. CO detectors are your best line of defense here. If you don't already have one, this is your wake-up call to get one. And if you do, test it now. It's better to spend a minute ensuring it works than risk waking up to a life-threatening situation. Remember, carbon monoxide is odorless and invisible. It doesn't announce itself, but its effects are devastating. Check on your neighbors. Especially the elderly, winter storms can be isolating, especially for older adults or those with disabilities. Checking in on your neighbors isn't just a kind gesture. It can make a real difference. Knock on doors, make a call, or send a text. Does your elderly neighbor need help clearing their driveway? Do they have enough food or medications? These simple actions strengthen your community and could prevent avoidable tragedies. Think of this as a time to reconnect. During the 2020 winter storm in Texas, one family became a lifeline for their neighbors, sharing extra supplies and offering warmth to those without power. That spirit of mutual aid turns a tough situation into a reminder of how resilient and supportive people can be. Prepare for power outages. When the lights flicker, it's time to gather your essentials. Flashlights, extra batteries, warm blankets, and non-perishable foods should be easily accessible. Candles might seem cozy, but they're also a fire hazard. Stick to battery-powered lanterns for light. If you have a wood-burning fireplace, stock up on dry firewood now. And here's a fun idea. Make it an adventure for kids by building a blanket fort or hosting a camping night indoors. Don't forget about water. Pipes can freeze and burst during storms, so fill your bathtubs and sinks ahead of time. This water isn't for drinking, but can be used for flushing toilets or basic cleaning if your pipes stop flowing. Avoid overexertion. Shoveling snow is no joke. Every year, emergency rooms see a spike in heart attacks triggered by overexertion in the cold. If you need to clear your driveway, pace yourself. Take breaks every 10 to 15 minutes and don't forget to stretch beforehand. If the snow is particularly heavy, focus on clearing smaller sections rather than trying to tackle the entire driveway at once. And if you're lucky enough to have helpful kids or neighbors with snowblowers, don't hesitate to accept or ask for help. You'll save your back, and maybe your heart too. Make it through. Together. The heart of storm preparation isn't just about individual survival. It's about community. Share these tips with friends and family so everyone can weather the storm safely. The more prepared you are, the more peace of mind you'll have when the snow starts to fall. So charge those devices, stock up on supplies, and check in with those around you. With a little preparation and a lot of care, you'll come out of this storm stronger than ever. Listen, I need you to understand something. This isn't just another winter storm warning. We're looking at a system that's already left 200,000 homes without power in Texas, and it's only getting started. The next 72 hours are absolutely critical. Here's what you need to remember. If you're in any of these 30 states, especially the Midwest and Northeast, your emergency kit needs to be ready now. Not tomorrow, not in a few hours, right now. We're talking about backup power, essential medications, and at least 3 days of food and water. I'll be updating this situation in real time on our community page as conditions change. But right now, my friend, your priority is simple. Get prepared, stay informed, and most importantly, stay safe. Sometimes the difference between a close call and a tragedy comes down to those first few hours of preparation. Don't forget to share this with anyone you know in these affected areas. It might just be the warning they need to hear. Stay safe out there.